Tonight, a new Florence City Council is preparing to be sworn in, even as a state investigation into corruption allegations continues to play out.
This all started back in 2021 when the former city manager was fired and arrested, accused of sexually harassing women who worked for him at City Hall. In March, all 6 Florence City Council members resigned in a historic fashion, leaving the mayor as the only elected official.
The mass resignation came after, they say, they directed the police chief to ask the state to investigate missing taxpayer money in the city. But the Colorado Bureau of Investigation later revealed that request was never made.
City Council has no authority to remove the police chief. None, because he works for the city manager. And we just felt so frustrated and so blocked by this, that the police chief is one of the roots of the problem that Florence is now encountering.
Now, 13 Investigates has uncovered a new document that raises questions about the current police chief in Florence and how he rose through the ranks.
Chief investigative reporter Chelsea Brensel explains what the record reveals in tonight's special report, The Truth Redacted.
It's a mysterious handwritten note, covered up with whiteout but still visible, saying, quote, "This is blackmail." The handwriting continues on the last page. "You ever want to be chief? Go fix it. You never saw this letter, but go fix it with her." The October 2015 document is in current Florence Police Chief Shane Prickett's personnel file. The chief says he never knew about it until 13 Investigates began to ask questions.
Have you ever looked at the police chief's personnel file?
I'm not going to get into personnel files. Those are, the expectation of privacy on a personnel file is very high, and I'm not going to discuss personnel files.
13 Investigates first learned of this document in March, but after we submitted a public records request, the city of Florence repeatedly denied public access to the 2015 document, citing Colorado's exception in the public records law for records regarding sexual harassment. After nearly 4 months, 2 denials, and a legal conference with 13 Investigates, the city of Florence finally released a redacted version. The document includes an investigative report written by Lieutenant Mike Engel to then Police Chief Mike De Laurentiis in 2015. The name of the officer in question is redacted. However, 13 Investigates reviewed and authenticated an unredacted version of the letter, and we can confirm that this record is about workplace allegations against current Florence Police Chief Shane Prickett, who was a lieutenant in the department at the time. The 2015 letter says a female officer complained about Prickett's workplace conduct, including allegations that Prickett, quote, "continues to commit violations of policy, ethics, and general common sense with no consequences whatsoever." Prickett was promoted to chief by former city manager Mike Patterson 4 years later in 2019. This year, a Florence police officer who resigned in April told a third-party workplace investigator, quote, "Chief is not the best person for the job. Chief got this job because he blackmailed his way into it. I can see the agency disbanded because of how Chief is doing things." Notable because the 2015 letter includes a handwritten note in the margin next to a description of Prickett's alleged behavior. It's covered up in whiteout, but you can see it says, "This is blackmail." The city redacted the paragraph describing the conduct, saying it pertained to allegations of sexual harassment. The unredacted version, reviewed by 13 Investigates, alleges multiple people who worked at the Florence Police Department heard Prickett say he had information about inappropriate text messages then city manager Mike Patterson sent to a woman. Patterson would later be fired by the city council in 2021 for sexual harassment. The sentence below says Prickett, quote, "is defiant about this and is quick to state if he needed to, he would use this information against the city." As you may recall, it was Patterson that promoted Prickett to chief. The handwriting continues on page 3. It's unclear whose handwriting it is or who the notes are directed to, but it says in part, "You ever want to be chief? Go fix it. You are a good man and cop, but you have alienated everyone that you work with. If you want to attack me, then it's time for me to go to the DA. What you're saying to people is a crime." We pressed the police chief about this record multiple times in March, May, June, July, and August. We also asked for a sit-down interview with him and the interim manager ahead of their June 6th city council meeting, but they never answered, so we asked the chief in person after that meeting.
Can I talk to you about your personnel file? I sent you an email. You want to talk about what appears to be a blackmail note in your personnel file?
Don't know anything about that.
You don't know anything about it?
I do not.
Really?
In July, after the city of Florence released the record to 13 Investigates, we went back to Prickett for a 5th time. He told us he saw the handwritten note one time about a month ago. As for the rest of the complaint, he said he had never seen it, but it was quite upsetting that it was in his file. Prickett told 13 Investigates he never blackmailed anyone. Lieutenant Engel, who wrote the investigative report on the workplace conduct allegations, called Prickett's personnel file, quote, one of the worst I have ever seen regarding a currently employed officer. It does not appear that there are any other disciplinary records in his personnel file between this 2015 record and his promotion in 2019. You can read the rest of the document right now on KRDO.com. Chelsea Brensel, 13 Investigates.